Welcome back. We apologize for that long break in transmission, and we had to set some things straight. But then we have our guest already. He is Richard Oriri, who is a politician. Great to have you on the show, Richard.
It's my pleasure, Anabel. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, quite a number of stories, and thank you so much for honoring our call.
I appreciate it.
All right, so we have so many stories right there on our national dailies, but we'll start with Tinubu's first year anniversary. The Punch newspaper says Tinubu directs 47 ministers to showcase scorecards. President plans low-key celebration. Ministers begin sectoral briefing today. That's one on the side. And then on the other news you have coming from the SGF, who actually said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has actually done well for Nigerians. But then on the flip side, Nigerian Tribune says 1 year in office, economic pains, hardship unintended coming from the federal government as Tinubu is laying foundation for nation's growth. Ministers apologizing to Nigerians for the hardship. Let's get your thoughts in all of this.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and good morning, Nigerians. Truly, in the real sense of it, the 1 year in office of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if we are to analyze and say the truth about the administration, yes, 1 year is not enough for any proper judgment of 4 years administration, but it's enough for us to equally say within these 12 months. What have we seen that really give us hope, as in because the administration is about the New Hope agenda, and that's what the platform they came on board with. So far, so good. He has tried on some areas, and in some areas they see some loopholes, which I think is aware of. Before now, the security situation wasn't this good. It was so bad, but still bad. But he has done something tangible in the security angle for now, because the level at which Nigerians were groaning about insecurity before now is no longer like it was.
But did you see the mass killing in Plateau State recently? Yes,
killing is inevitable in the society, especially in a country like Nigeria that is so large. Killing is inevitable, even in a small country, like Lebanon. In Lebanon, they have just a 25 million population, and out of which about 17 million are outside the country. Majority, about 70 or even 11 million of Lebanese they are in Nigeria. But in such a country like Lebanon, they still have challenges of insecurity and killings too going on there. So there's no how we can take issue of insecurity or killing self at all away completely from Nigeria. But in the rich sense of it, he has tried. He has tried so far for this area. He has tried, and going forward, I think from the arrangement of things on ground, they would try their best. Then the economic aspect. It's not that pleasing to Nigerians, because if you go to the street everywhere, you will see that there's so much problem going on. Even you now, this morning, before you leave your house, I think you must have received over how many text messages of coming from friends, relatives, how you should send money to them, and some will even tell you to give them 1,000 naira to be okay. So now it's a very clear indication that there's so much to be done in the economic angle. Because foods, they are too high to buy. You can't even get a cup of gari now. It has gone up. One small basin of gari that they normally sell in my village for 350 naira, now it's about 13,000 naira. You can't even buy. There's no money to even buy. So a lot is going on in the economic angle. But from the things going on, I think, just like he said, they have said that they are trying to fix the economy and fix too many things. And in a country where the administration is about fixing. I think it's good that it's germane that the masses will face what we are facing now. But we don't want it to be too long.
All right, so I hear you say that they've actually tried in that regard, but then let's talk about the ministers themselves, since they would be showcasing their scorecards or report card like some other administration called it. How far would you say that if you have to look at all of the ministers, over 40 of them, how far would you say they've done? Because some people will say, in fact, I didn't even know that there's a minister that exists in some ministries, because we don't even know they exist. We don't see anything that they've done or they are doing at all.
The current administration have the highest number of ministers in the history of Nigeria.
Right.
Yes, and when the appointment was made, so many Nigerians were complaining about it, because we were all of us, every one of us, we were looking at the area of funding. When the country is crying of non-availability of funds. But and the number that's why sometimes some people in some analysis, economic analysis, they will tell you that it's not the number that matters. It's the effectiveness of the people you are recruiting that matters. And so far, so good. The high number of personalities he has appointed as ministers, they have not encouraged Nigerians that they really fit into the position. Those few of the ministers have performed to a certain level that Nigerians can see and feel and touch what they have done. We can talk about that from the FCT minister, where all of us we are here now. Infrastructurally, the FCT minister tried in road construction and some other things, bridges and all of those things. We didn't see that in the 8 years administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Muhammadu Buhari. We did not see that in the 8 years. That minister, the minister that Wike took over from, did not even show anything to Nigerians living in FCT to say that there was minister in FCT.
Are you talking about Bala Mohammed?
Not Bala Mohammed. We have forgotten the name of the minister, but the immediate past minister under President Muhammad Buhari in FCT. He didn't do up to expectation, but the moment Wike came on board, you can see changes, drastic changes all over road construction and all that. If you go to the aviation sector too, the minister have actually tried bringing some kind of reformation into the aviation sector, and we can see and feel and touch some things that he's doing that too. And if you go to Works, Ministry of Works, you can equally see and feel what they are doing there too. But we still expect much to be done from them. And even Minister of Housing and Minister of Housing is equally doing well. I think there will be a ground-breaking of some mass housings in around Kaduna. This is a northeastern part of the country, and it will go around the 36 states of the federation. And from there, we can see a lot going on there. But some other ministries, I don't tell you, the Interior Ministry too. Interior Ministry is doing a lot as well. The reformation in the immigration, the passport, and all of a lot is going on in the Interior Ministry too. So if you look at the ministers out of 100 rating, if you want to rate them 100, right, I think I'll give them 25% so far. So meaning they have 25. Performed 25 at the whole ministers, 25%, meaning they perform below average.
Right.
So it's too far below average. So that's why many Nigerians are even calling on the president to see if he can even sack some ministers, because some of them, they are just there taking salaries and not doing and giving the service they are supposed to be giving to Nigerians. But
don't you actually wonder, doesn't it actually bother you the fact that when most of them were coming, they had so much, there was this enthusiasm, there was this joy about, oh, thank God you're bringing XYZ person because he has the experience, either from Lagos, let's say for instance the finance minister. You always have that report. The
collaboration of the finance minister with the CBN governor so far is effective, and they sign that they are going to do well. Because they are collaborating very well.
I'm actually just giving an example of the finance minister. And then we also hear about the power minister, of how well he has been doing. We also hear about the health minister, how well he has been doing when he was with Gavi and all of that. But then doesn't it actually bother you when you hear of all these good works they were doing at the time, and then they're supposed to replicate those activities that they've been doing before now? you just see that your jaws is just dropped, and then the activities are not even like you've given 25%, which is poor.
Very, very poor. You know, most of these people that they rated so high in areas where they have performed before now, where we are now is different from where they came from. Nigeria is so large, and to be minister of let's say works in a country like Nigeria, and then commissioner, possibly commissioner for works in a state, possibly a state like Kogi State, you cannot expect the performance of a minister or commissioner for works in a state like Kogi to be equated with a minister for works in Nigeria, because the office is too large, and some of them, the environmental factors that will come into play here will not be measurable to what they were seeing in the places where they came from. Yeah, so right, I think that is the differences. So
let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Collins calling us from Otukpo, Benue State. Go ahead.
I don't know why we are all behind schedule. Or the program has been extended from.
No, it wasn't extended. We apologize. It was actually some technical issues we had to sort out. We apologize for that.
Okay, no problem. About the ministers we was discussing about, if I'm to give the plus to any of the ministers now, I believe it's for works. Because the level of the road infrastructure that is going around the whole nation now, I only applaud it. It's the only person that I see that is working. Depends on that Abuja of the TV. I know Abuja. The one that affects all of us, signing us. Then I know you people don't have enough time to discuss about these rivers of the state. You see, many times we have been discussing the issue. Our people, our politicians have opened, especially the masses, their eyes of the impact of what they used to earn. You see, the seat-tight syndrome is the problem we are having in our Nigerian politics, not especially in Africa. If you have left office, allow the people that is at stake to continue from where you stopped. Imposing or bringing somebody and become a monitoring spirit over that person will not make sense. Okay, look at our politics now. During the election, you see, we used to hear of killings here and there because of personal interest. So what are we saying in essence? Now, Labour, we are deliberating on the issue of salary structure of workers. Do you know a PA of some of these ministers, House of Rep, senators, and the presidency? Some of their PAs are collecting more than 1.something million. And the worker that will stay for good at least from 8 to 4 p.m. in the evening is collecting peanuts. They are not facing the pains we are facing. But especially with the pharmacies. Now the security issue is even attacking us. We cannot go to farm now. We cannot buy chemical now. We cannot buy fertilizer now. All these things. Okay, in my place now, Gary, which used to buy a basin at the rate of 9,000 is 34,000 naira a basin. How much more people that are in Abuja, in Lagos, how do they sustain all these people that are doing this P job to earn a living? Our politicians, they have to reduce all their excesses.
All right.
If not, this thing is becoming too alarming in a manner that even the entire, I don't think our security agencies will be able to control most of these things.
All right.
Or somebody can be pushed to the wall and he will not bite. Even a goat that is close to the wall that doesn't have where to bite can even bite at times. But I pray God will help us.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Collins from Otukpo. Great to hear from you too. All right, let's leave that matter and go straight to other matters. Quite a number of stories we need to analyze on. Now, let's talk about, because he brought up that topic, I said that we're going to even start from there. If you, I don't know if you saw the video of the tussle that happened in Rivers State, in Cross River Assembly, where they were actually, in fact, it was really a gory sight. And then you just begin to imagine, I think it was First Newspaper has it on their picture story. Yes, it's right there. First Newspaper says Cross River Assembly rocked. Chaos as lawmakers impeach speaker amid corruption allegations. DSS police take over assembly complex. Anabel kicks as says that he remains the speaker. News of his impeachment is fake. And then my gross here is the fact that how do you manage as people who are elected, who are actually, forget the morals aside, the fact that these are people's fathers, people's grandfathers, people's husbands, who would now come out to start fighting dirty in the House of Assembly. We've seen it happen sometimes in the National Assembly, and now we're talking about the Cross River State House of Assembly, where you have someone who snatched the mace and they were just jumping around. It was a total chaos yesterday. Why do we have people who throw caution in the air and do things like that just because they want to remain, let me use the words of Collins, the sit tight syndrome of our African leaders, not even Nigerians?
It's not just about sit tight syndrome. It's about morality and about ideology. Majority of our politicians don't have ideological framework before they even come to join politics. They don't base their political interests on ideology, but selfish agenda. And that selfish agenda is why they always push to remain in any office they have occupied. And the reason politicians go as far as killing their opponent to ensure they take over the seat. And from what is happening in Cross River State, is about a problem between possibly the governor, the present governor now may not be showing it clearly that he's having problem with his immediate boss, the immediate past governor of the state. But I am seeing from the other angle that maybe the current speaker of Cross River State House of Assembly was nominated or installed as speaker by the past governor. And now the governor, the sitting governor is trying to see how he will restructure the system to benefit him, to favor him. You know, so many bills on things that you will do as executive governor, you must pass it through the state assembly for approval. Because the state assembly members, they are the ones representing the entire body of electorate of the state. And they are the one overseeing and supervising and watching over the resources of the masses. You don't just, as an executive officer, don't just go to spend money. The entire money of the state belongs to the people. And who are the representative of these people? Is the state assembly members. So, if you sit there as the governor, and you see that the speaker will not be playing your cards, and possibly or again, if some things that you pass through the speaker, the information will leak to your opponent, you don't need to have such person as your speaker. Is
that the reason why they always have that toggery and toutish attitude?
Nothing other than that. And once you don't play along with the governor's directive, you will not see 1 naira. The only thing you see as a member of any state house of assembly is your salary.
Okay, let me ask you,
any other benefit.
What exactly is the motive behind when there's a grievance in the National Assembly or in the House? The first move is to go and pick up the mace.
The mace is the power. The mace is the authority. The mace is why you are the speaker. Once you are stripped of the mace, you have no authority to act as speaker anymore.
So you have someone else always looking after. The next thing they want to do is just want to pick up
because you who is in the position of the maze, because the faction that were struggling for the maze, they want to validate their position, right, their own candidate as the authority, as the one with the authority, meaning you are the one that is recognized and known by law to be the speaker. You who is in charge of the maze, you are the speaker. Right. You are the leader of the House of Assembly or National Assembly. So that is why anytime there is going to be any crisis of that nature, what they do, is to first of all see the fashion that we have control of the maize. It's the authority, symbol of authority. So the fight in the house there is purely political and selfish in nature. But what I advise every member of any house, both state assembly or national assembly, is to see that the masses who voted in him, that they are supervising or overseeing these state resources on their behalf. They expect so much from them and not the fight that they go into engaging.
All right, so let's move to other stories. The Nigerian Tribune, for all the paper, is talking about the minimum wage. Labour pegs demand at 497,000 naira. But federal government and private sector is settling for 57,000 naira. So Labour has decided to move away from 610,000 to 497,000 naira. And I was asking, why are they now pricing it? Is it for more or pepper or fish that they are pricing? We'll talk about that one. And then secondly, I'd like to get your thoughts with regards. The Nation says Tinubu in support of autonomy for councils. That's coming from the SGF, George Akume. Let's get your thoughts in these two headlines.
Labour have to calm down. From the beginning of the negotiation, I told everybody, and anywhere I find myself in the argument concerning the minimum wage, I used to tell people that 615,000 naira was outrageous. It was so much, and I think they peg it at that level because they wanted federal government to at least step up. They want to use that as their own tool for negotiation. And since federal government is not even pushing up to even anything, the best thing for them to do is to fall down flat. So they have not even felt so much. Going to 400 and something is still high.
Is it high?
It's still very high.
For the average family or worker?
Count the number of civil servants in Nigeria. It's a position you occupy for 35 years. It's a position you occupy for 35 years. It's not a political office that after election you know that you are going to be there for 4 years.
Is that the reason why the federal government said, are you people asking for minimum wage or living wage?
The living wage is the one that will sustain them. The living wage is the one that will sustain them. Not just minimum, but let it be living wage. Living wage is in the sense that if you pay it to be, it should be at least enough that after you pay your NEPA bill, water bill, because all of these things now you pay.
How much is enough? Especially in this current situation.
No amount will be enough for anybody. If any amount will be enough for people, you can't see politicians with stealing billions, stealing trillions. Where are they taking it to? Once you die, you are leaving everything here. No amount is enough for anybody. But at least, minimum, at least the one you can manage, struggle with. That's what we are talking about. Even 1 million naira minimum wage is still not enough in this country and any part of Africa. It's still not 1 million naira minimum wage. Still not enough. But at least federal government should come up to like let's say 150,000 minimum wage, 150 maximum 200. They have that capacity. The government that we all see in this country, Nigerian government, have that capacity.
Are you talking of the state government? Or
no, federal government.
Because the state governors are not. They were not even available.
All the resources that the federal government is tapping and giving them peanut at the end of every month to come from the states, come from these local government areas. It's just that the federal government have that constitutional right to power over the entire land of the country. And that is why they have that constitutional right to harness and extract any mineral or anything from any part of the country, and then at the end give some percentage of it to states, and that's why you see them sharing a federation allocation. So if the states are not lazy, they can tap enough from within their locality.
But then if they decided to shun that meeting and they did not attend it, the only person, the governor that attended was the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma. Does it actually mean that you just say your nonsense, we're not interested? Is that what it looks like? And
the state governors, the majority of them, some of them, I beg to use this word, majority of some of them, they are arrogant. Arrogant is the sense that the moment you elect them to become the governor, they see themselves as gods on earth, and they can do and undo any electorate. And that is why up till now we are still here concerning this local government autonomy. It's still the governor that have kept us to this point. Buhari, President Olusegun Obasanjo, when he came on board in 1999, all local government in Nigeria, they come to Abuja here to take their money as source directly to local government. 1999 till whether 2002. Whether 2002, before governors came together and say there should be a separation, there should be joint account, the money should come straight to state government, and at the end, the state government will now give part of the one that belong to local government to them, and they have to do it that way. So it's the governors that have kept us where we are today in Nigeria in terms of underdevelopment and everything. If the governors can allow the state local government to have access to their resources, because in the constitution there are responsibilities of the local government at the local level, especially let's say rural road opening, community health centers, primary educations, and all of those things. They are the responsibilities of local government in Nigeria. But from the very moment that the state government hijacked the power of local government from them, we began to have problems of underdevelopment. And if we are to talk about underdevelopment in this country, you can see it 80-90% at the rural areas. And on every underdevelopment from any country at all, of any country at all, you can see it clearly from primary education. And right. We don't have it. Primary healthcare, we don't have it in Nigeria anymore. So the major issues, even insecurity in Nigeria today, emanated from the local level. And if the moment they give autonomy to local government, I think, and the masses will check the administrators of local government very well to enable them give account of whatever they do with the resources, I think we'll have development and the whole country will change very fast.
Let's take our last story. Daily Trust says CNG, no conversion centers in 27 states. High cost, FX crisis, slow adoption. Owners of 15.5 million naira vehicles in dilemma. And you have federal government partners with Algon to reach 774 local government areas. Let's get your thoughts in this regard. We talked about the CNG quite a number of times, and then you're just beginning to wonder, you want to reel out CNG buses or CNG vehicles or tricycles, but yet we don't have the conversion centers in 27 states out of the 36 states, including the FCT. Are we actually serious and ready for this?
We are serious, and the willingness to do it, I think, is there. But the government have to step up. Stepping up in the sense that the local manufacturers of vehicles, like Kinosin Motors, have to be brought into the plan. Because Inosin has been here with us for years, and he knows the terrain. He knows how the system works. He knows the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. If federal government should engage a company like Inosin now, Inosin can open up conversion center in the 774 local government in Nigeria.
That's one person. Now you're talking about monopoly.
Inosin Motors.
Richard, you're talking about monopoly.
It's not a issue of monopoly. It's the only home.
He can't be the only one.
Inosin vehicle today is the only manufacturing company in Nigeria that do conversion of CNG vehicles and even manufacture and produce CNG vehicles in this country.
Shouldn't we be looking at ways to encourage other people? Because
no, other local manufacturers
complain of the fact that you have Dangote, you have Boa, and they are monopolizing. So let us open it.
Where are the other local manufacturers of vehicles in Nigeria? If we have other local manufacturers of vehicles and they can do conversion and they are producing CNG vehicles, they can bring all of them together, even if they are 10. They can bring all of them together. We have 6 regions in this country. You can partition these regions to each of these manufacturing companies, and they can take over, like as Inosi is now. Now I'm talking of the one that I know.
That's the one that you. That's what I'm saying. You're only talking of the one you know.
The one that I have done my research. Inosin Vehicle is the only. Inosin Motor is the only manufacturing company that can produce CNG vehicle comfortably in Nigeria. They have been doing that, and if Inosin Vehicle is incorporated into this federal government arrangement, I assure you, within 1 month, Inosin Vehicle can establish conversion center in the 774 local government in Nigeria, and that
looks like you are the spokesperson for Innocent.
No, not at all. I don't even have link to him. If at all Innocent should establish a conversion center in the 774 local government in Nigeria now, and employ, let's say, 30 engineers, 30 Nigerians, youth, to be employed into these conversion centers and be doing this conversion work. Let's say 30 times 774. How many Nigerians you will give their employment?
Which I speak for other people too. Don't.
No. What I am saying, if there is any like a GIAC, is it GIAC vehicle? They are not Nigerian. They are not homemade company. Which other one again? It's only Innocent Vehicles I know that it's a homemade company.
All right.
It's a local company.
Let's take this last story. Says, okay, two, and I'd like you to take them together very quickly if you can help us in the next 2 minutes. Daily Sun says government to ban smoking and money rituals in Nigerian films. I'm going to ask you that question. Do you actually think it is right? Because some other persons will say, okay, so why are you now banning them? What did they do to you? But then I remember while we were growing up, when we were watching these movies, how much it affected or impacted in our psyche. So that's one on the side. And then secondly, VP Shetima inaugurates Christian Pilgrims Board. That's also on Daily Sun this morning. I'm just wondering, is it actually coming from the fact that there was so much backlash with when he said that they subsidize Hajj trip with 90 billion naira, and a lot of people said, why would you subsidize Hajj trip for 90 billion naira when
95 billion?
90. Okay, so we saw 90 billion. So then, why would you make such amount of money in, especially economy that is bleeding red at the moment? Let's get your thoughts. It's
misplaced priority. I know we need, as a country, we need to encourage our religious bodies in terms of prayers for the sustainability of the country and some other things, to increase, to boost their faith in their religion. But the amount used in subs. Why is IMF not directing Nigeria not to subsidize Hajj? But IMF asked the Minister of Power not to subsidize power in Nigeria. But they know that Nigeria is going to subsidize Hajj. They did not advise them because they have nothing to gain from the Hajj. The same way Nigerians have less to gain, both Hajj and Jerusalem pilgrimage that they normally go to. It's just capital flight. There's somebody in our university, Nile University, that did a PhD thesis on Hajj. The amount of money the country spent in Hajj yearly, the benefit of it to the country. At the end, his report shows that there was no benefit. He's a Muslim. Every lecturer in Nile University pick interest in that his research work. If you go to Nile now and ask about that research, you will see it, you have it in the library. Right. So that is a misplaced priority. But it's good to encourage religious body for prayers and other things. But that amount is so huge. They are supposed to divert it to either subsidizing food or buying of food to share to the 774 local government in Nigeria. But the same people
that would still complain of why are they giving palliative, why are they giving us rice or grains as if we had hens and chickens. And
no, they can subsidize food through the purchase of fertilizers and share to our farmers, and even farm tools. It's not just about tractors. Like in my village, we don't make use of tractors. That's mechanized farming. We do with local farm implements like hoes and cutlasses. They can buy cutlasses, buy hoes. So many people, I have received call from about 4 or 5 different persons that their hoe has really gone down. They don't have good shape again. They know they need to buy new hoe.
So
Nigerian government can do that and assist farmers to increase our farm produce.
All right, thank you so much. Now, government to ban smoking and money rituals in Nigerian film, yes or no? One word.
It's very, very essential.
Great. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a wonderful time. Richard Oriri, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Thanks
it's been a
for
wonderful
inviting
time
me.
having you. All right, so I'll leave you with this particular song, just a motivation, more like a motivation for you because it is Thursday. I'll see you again next time. My name is Anabel Orji. Good morning.